panelist team, can you see my screen? Thumbs up. Looks good. Thank you. Thank you. All right. So without further ado, here we go. 2024 Camp Independence Summer President Camp. Just a couple of things. If you have questions tonight, and I hope that you do, please feel free to use the Q&A button rather than the chat button. So that way we can get your questions, answer them for you. And with me, I have Jordan Moore. Jordan is our program director for this coming summer. And I also have Dylan McKenna with me, who's going to be helping me moderate the question and answer. So thank you to you both. There will be some QR codes all throughout this presentation. So if you have your phones out, please make sure that you scan those. I also included some links in there. And like I said, this presentation will also be available online after the meeting towards the end of this week. So my name is Amanda Erickson. If you have never met me before, I am the Independence Camp Director, but I'm also the Cub Scout Director of Camping for the Council. So some of you I have seen already, some I am going to get to see you as I start coming to roundtables. Like I said, I have Dylan McKenna with me. Dylan is our Scouts BSA Camp Director over at Freedom and Liberty this summer. Jordan is our Independence Program Director. I think I saw Chris Cummings jump on here. He is our Senior Camp Commissioner, so he's responsible for all things facility-wise over at Independence. And then also we have Tony Amrine with us. He is the Director of Heritage Reservation. So we'll have a great team working with us this summer. I know it looks a little different for those of you who have been with us before, but we are super excited for the changes that are coming for this summer. I have fantastic news. As of 5 o'clock today, the Leader's Guide for this summer, our adult and parent guide, is ready. So you can check tomorrow on the council's website. So if you follow that QR code or you visit us at lhcscouting.org/camping/summer, go to the bottom. There is a bar. It says 2024 guidebooks, and the 2024 Independence Guidebook is now ready. The biggest change you're going to see right away is that it's not 55 pages anymore. It's like 18 pages. So we've taken a lot of text and really kind of condensed it down to just those things that you really need to know. Also on that website, you're going to find the medical forms, different program forms, any tutorial about registration. We'll have menus up there as soon as we get them from our food service company. We have the camp maps, and then there's a whole other set of resources that's available at that site. So this is kind of your where to go when you need something. Go to the lhcscouting.org/camping/summer, and you'll find just about everything that you should possibly need. Okay. So this summer's theme is a brand new theme to us, and we are doing weird science. So we're going to be focusing on all things science related as it pertains to Cub Scout and camp and all of those fun things. I'll tell you a secret. My daughter and I have been working on some different science experiments that maybe we will be able to do this summer. Anything from elephant toothpaste to we're currently growing sugar crystals in the kitchen. So she's 4. This is like the biggest thing in the world to her right now, but it is super cool. So we're really looking at a lot of different things that we can do to bring the science, the technology, engineering, and math, and bring that into the summer camp experience. And we're super excited this summer. I know Jordan's been working really hard on what that's going to look like. So buckle up and get your lab coats on for a really awesome experience this summer. So our schedule looks a little different. We took a lot of surveys. I took into account your feedback from last year. We do still have 6 sessions, but our sessions begin on Thursdays and end on Sundays. I heard you loud and clear. Monday was not good. So we decided to sort of back that up, and it has a little bit more of a throwback to when we used to just do Cub Scout and Webelow programs. So this Thursday to Sunday session. The big thing about that is your check-in, and I'll get into that a little bit later, is actually going to be before lunch on Thursday. So you're going to get, you know, an entire afternoon and evening's worth of program on Thursday before everything really ramps up. So Pack Camp 1 starts June 20 through 23. So we're starting earlier this year than we have in the past, followed by Pack Camp 2, June 27 through 30. Courage Camp is what was known as Rookie Camp. So that's our one-night camping experience for new families to the Cub Scout program, or families that have younger Cub Scouts. So think your lions and your tigers who have maybe been in the program for a few months, but aren't really quite ready to get to that full resident experience. So it's just a single overnight with a bunch of fun activities to kind of get a taste of independence, get that overnight, have a campfire, do the campfire program with us, eat your s'mores, pack up in the morning, and head home. So that's happening the July 6th to the 7th. And then Pack Camps 3 through 5, July 11th through the 28th. Our Webelos and Air of Light Extra Day is on Sunday. So it's a full day on Sunday. And you can sort of choose, are you going to stay after dinner on Sunday? Or are you going to go home? We're open to both. We're super accommodating. So if you want to stay and go home in the morning, great, just let us know. Otherwise, you can pack up and head home on Sundays this year and kind of get right back into your work week on Monday. I'll leave the pricing structure up here for just a moment so that you can see it. I didn't get to change that from Rookie Camp to Courage Camp, so I do apologize for that. I was kind of speeding my way through this afternoon. So I do apologize for that. So while you're checking that out, I do have a couple of questions. So David asks, can we go over if siblings are at Camp Liberty or Freedom and transition to independence during our pack camp? So would that be like your den chief? So like your scouts that are coming over from Freedom or Liberty, or vice versa? Yeah, go ahead and throw that one in there for me. And let me know which direction that you're looking for, and then I can tell you for sure. And so Jolene's asking if we stay Sunday, what time Monday would we need to be checked out? As soon as you possibly can. We'll be so we don't have a breakfast on Sunday or on Monday. I'm sorry. So we don't have a breakfast on Monday. So it would essentially be, kind of get up and go. The staff will be working on essentially turning camp for the next session. But like I said, we don't really mind if you're there. There are a couple of really great recommendations that are on the mountain there that I can give you if you're looking for a place to stop. That's how Monday is going to work. We do have a free den chief. So Hank asks if we have a free den chief, are they all paid for? So your first den chief is free. There is a registration type for your free den chief. And then after that, they do charge for those. Now, if you have a den chief that you're paying for, that is also attending at Freedom or Liberty, they will qualify for a second session discount. Okay, so David asks, siblings that'll finish at Freedom and Liberty on Saturday, but parent and Cub Scout is at Independence. David, let's talk about that one offline, just so that I can make sure that I give you the right answer for it, because I'm sure that we can. But I want to make sure that I've got the best answer for you on that one. Okay. Matt, so good to see you. And I am about to get to that incentive. So I'm so glad that you brought that up. So if you give me just a couple slides, I'll make sure that I hit that for you. Actually, I'm going to talk about it right now. So sibling discounts. Sibling discounts. So we are offering sibling discounts. So that's $30 off your second, third, fourth sibling that is attending camp. So if you have, and that's across. So if you have scouts at Freedom or Liberty and you have scouts that are attending at Independence, we can apply that across packs and troops. So the only thing that we ask is that you need to have the names put in to the registration. So you'll make sure that you work with your troop. If that's the way it's going, to make sure the names are in. We can't apply any discounts until the names are in the system. So please make sure that you put those in there before you send the request in to have us add that. It's not an automatic coupon. That's something that you'd send the request in and have us apply that for you. Every unit gets one free adult for every 8 scouts that are attending the same session. So 1, 8, 2 at 16 scouts, and so on and so forth. If you've got a Weeblo, well, this would be a new scout for us that joins after March 1st. There's a new scout registration type that locks them into the early bird rate. So please make sure that you use that if you have new scouts that have joined your pack. Your den chiefs, like I was talking about, or your adults. So if you have someone who is paying the fee, so your free den chiefs don't count, but paying the fee and they're attending 2 sessions at camp, whether it's at Independence or it's at Freedom or Liberty, we will be giving you a 25% second session discount. And it's whichever the second of the session is. So if you're coming to Independence first and then going to Freedom or Liberty, then your discount goes off of Freedom or Liberty, and switched if it's the other way. Matt had asked about the early sign-up discount from last year. We put in a 5% early sign-up discount, just like we do at the Scouts BSA camps starting last year, if you signed up to come back at the end of your session last year. Those are already programmed. So once you go in and confirm your registrations, you will see it'll say applied coupon, and it'll be for a dollar amount. And so you will be getting 5% off of the fee for both your youth and your adults. And that is good for anybody that you add going forward. So if you have new scouts who join your pack and they want to come, or new scouts in your pack that say, hey, I decided I wanted to go to camp and I didn't say so before, then that 5% will automatically be applied to them because you as a unit signed up to tell us that you were coming ahead of time last year. I was very excited about how many of you said you were coming back. So if you have any trouble finding that, please don't hesitate to reach out to me so that I can make sure that you get it. As I said before, you get 1 free den chief per your session. So make sure that if you've got multiple ones that you do mark 1 as free. We are still doing referrals for camp staff. So I know that some of your den chiefs, I love den chiefs. Jordan, do we love den chiefs? We love den chiefs. If you have a 14-year or older den chiefs that would be interested in working on camp staff or being a CIT with us, please let us know. So we've got we have referrals that we can get for you. The campership applications are due March 1. There is a link that is later in this presentation for the campership. If you're looking for it on the council's website, it's under resources. So make sure that you go and fill those out. This year, the campership application is for anyone who registers, regardless of their council. So please make sure that you register, and please don't let any reason for a scout to not go to camp be financial. So please share that with your leaders, share that with your parents, and fill those applications out. And then, of course, we will be getting you'll be receiving a camp keepsake, and Dylan and I and Tony will have to sit down and figure out what that is here over the next couple months. But we did dry bags last year. That seemed to be a pretty big hit. So keep an eye out, and we'll see what interesting things we come up with for you for this year. Okay. In case you missed it, let's talk about tents. In the long past, we have had nylon, first it was canvas, then it was nylon wall tents that we've set up at Camp Independence. After last year's evaluations, based on feedback that I have received outside of evaluations, sitting down and talking with units, sitting down and talking with parents and families, the decision has been made that we're not going to set up canvas or wall tents, nylon wall tents in Camp Independence this summer. This summer is BYOT, so bring your own tent. But before anybody panics, we do have a limited number of dome tents that I have ordered, and they are already here. I'm already in possession of them. So if you have families in your units that are just, I have a need, this is not something that we have as a family, we have those available. You request them through your registration. So, and those are underneath the registration contact. You can tell us how many you need, and then what we will do is we will have them ready for you when you check in, and you'll sign them out from us. The same thing is going to be with cots. Yes, we have cots. If you'd like to have them, we can make them available for you. You just tell us how many you need, and then we will be delivering them to your site for you so that you can use them. So why did we make this change? Like I said before, based on a lot of the feedback that we were getting, the nylon tents are something that is not what a lot of our families are looking for, nor are they comfortable with. If we move to when we move to this model, you can bring a giant tent. You can keep your whole family together. And to be honest, when we would go past, and Jordan can also attest to this, there are more tents, personal tents in our sites than there are wall tents, and all that does is take up all that extra space in your site. So we can be better stewards of our area by having you bring your own tents rather than setting up wall tents that most are not being used. And then this way you can keep your whole families together. As most of you know, we do allow you to bring siblings of any age. Our youngest camper last year was eight months old. The best camper the entire season, 8 months old. And being the mother of a 4-year-old, I can honestly tell you that myself personally and my family, we would be bringing our own tent because she likes to escape. And if she's in a wall tent, she can get out without me knowing that she's gone. And at least I have a fighting chance of her tripping over me if she's in a tent that I can zip up. The other great thing is that I know that a lot of our younger kids have issues with bugs, and I know that some of our adults have issues with bugs. So it kind of gives you that whole, I can zip myself in and zip myself away. I can tell you that this particular tent, which the tent on the screen is the one that I did purchase. So that's exactly the same one. And you can put a full-size air mattress in it. So if you were really looking for comfort, you can sleep on an air mattress instead of a wooden canvas cot. So we have a couple of questions on here, and they're actually the same question So as of right now, the platforms are going to remain in the site. So if you'd like to set your tent up on top of one of those platforms, please be my guest. But as it stands right now, we are not moving those out. So there will be platforms there if you'd like to use them. Okay, so before I move on to the next slide, does anybody have any other questions about tents? I can honestly tell you we're very excited about bringing this onto the reservation. It's something we've been talking about for a long time. So okay. Let's talk about advancement. This is the other big thing I know you're all really excited for. If you have not heard, there is a brand new Cub Scout program that is coming out. The entire program itself has been overhauled. That's my whole job in the council now is Cub Scout camping and program. So I can tell you that this year we are going to be using the brand new Cub Scout requirements as an integrated part of our program at camp. So we will be doing the STEM related belt loops. We'll be working on some of the outdoor belt loops, some of the conservation things. So what does that mean for you? That means that this year I will actually have the list. If your scout participated in camp this summer, these are the things that we covered that you can take home with you. Part of the goal is there are some things that they can actually complete at camp. So full elective adventures that we'll be able to do. And we want to make sure that we can get those to you. I don't have those yet. So as much as I would love to be able to tell you, this is what it is, this is what it's called, and these are the requirements. The requirements are not out yet. The printed materials won't start coming out into councils until at least the beginning of March. I'm hoping that by the end of March that I will have hard copies that do not say do not distribute across the top that I can share with my camp staff and that I can also start putting into the guidebook. So there is a page for advancement in the guidebook that says, this is where you're going to find advancement stuff as soon as I get it. So I don't have those yet, but we do have the plans of using the requirements to build the camp program. You're going to love them. They're super straightforward. They're written like lesson plans. We did hear a lot of what you had to say last year on the evaluations about the program. And with the changes, it means that we'll be able to really focus on that multi-den experience because that's how the program is written. So we'll be able to make sure that they're getting age-appropriate activities as we go forward with those. So if keep an eye out, and if you're in Laurel Highlands Council, make sure that you listen to see if I'm coming to your roundtable near you. We've been talking about possibly having a Cub Scout fireside chat, so to talk about the new program as it comes out. So keep an eye out, keep an ear out, and we will be offering your requirements this summer. It'll be the very beginning because the program begins on June 1st. So everybody get excited because we're getting a brand new program. It's 5 years in the making, and it is phenomenal. So let's talk about leadership a little bit. So the leadership to bring your groups. So what do we need? We need 2 deep leadership at a minimum. So what does that mean? It means that you have 2 registered leaders that are over the age of 21 at all times. Everybody has to have youth protection training. And then packs with youth females must have at least 1 registered female adult that's 21 or older. So it does not necessarily have to be that young girl's parents, mother, but they do need to have somebody that's in the pack that's a over 21 registered female that is attending to fulfill that requirement. So Nathan asks, does a parent partner count as a registered female? So registered means that it is paid, and I do believe parent partners are still not paid positions. So in that case, that would not count. No, I'm sorry, that does count. That's fine. Yes, that's fine. So the Cub Scout camping requirements are different than the Boy Scout camping requirement or the Scouts BSA camping requirements. So yes, that would be fine to have that female. So Julian asks, since they're out of council, can we send ahead of time copies of youth protection and PA clearances for leaders? So if you are if you're out of council but still in Pennsylvania, so yes, you're still going to need your clearances, but please don't send those to us ahead of time. I literally drown in paper, and the last thing that I want to have happen is to lose anybody's paperwork, youth protection, clearances, like the whole thing. So have your parents, have everybody kind of stack everything up and staple it together, and we will get it from you at MedCheck. So please don't send those ahead of time to us. If you are out of council, out of state, you need to make sure you do not need your Pennsylvania clearances because you do not live in Pennsylvania. You need your non-PA disclosure and your youth protection. That's it. So that non-PA resident form is on that website that I referenced at the beginning, lhcscouting.org/camping/summer. So if you do not live in the state of Pennsylvania, you do not have to to obtain Pennsylvania clearances. You just need that form, non-PA resident form, and your youth protection. For your group, our ratio is 1 adult for every 4 scouts. So please be mindful of that. We try to keep that as close to the 1 to 4 as possible. It helps you, it helps us as staff, and when everybody's helping everyone, we are all having a good time. So 1 to 4, please keep that in mind as you go forward. Okay, let's talk a little bit about check-in. I'm going to run through this really quick. It's in your guidebooks, so you'll be able to look at it a little bit more in depth. As I said, check-in is going to be on Thursday morning, so 10 a.m. check-in. Your first meal with us is lunch. So you're going to move in starting at 10 o'clock. And then lunch is at 12:30. We're going to do the same thing we did last summer, where we have a check-in point in the parking lot. So you do not need to arrive as a group. If you do, that's great. If you arrive as individual families, that's okay too. And we're going to be doing our check-ins, our med checks right there in the parking lot for you, so that you can get checked in and then get back to your site and get moved in and settled. Join us for lunch. That's when your dining hall orientation will take place. And then after lunch, the plan right now, we're going from 2 to 5. We're going to have sort of an open program type thing. No, I don't know what that looks like yet. Jordan and I are still working through what that looks like. But during that time, you will need to make sure that you visit the shooting sports area for your safety briefing. Visit the beach if you need your swim checks, and I will come back to swim checks in just a second. And then you're also going to want to make sure that you visit the nature shelter so that you can work on your honor necklaces. So there's more activity going on in the afternoon this year than last year. Dinner will be at our regular time, 6 o'clock, and then we will start with a classic Camp Independence opening campfire that we cannot wait to put on for you that evening before we get started on the next day on Friday with our block program, just like last year. Okay. Jordan, while we're talking a little bit about that, do you have anything that you'd like to talk about with program, or even just to say hello?
Hi. I'm working on a really, really fun script. I'm really proud of it. I'm super excited about it. Um, yeah, I'm super excited for the open programness. I have a bunch of experiments that I'm testing myself, and since I work in a learning center with under kindergarten, I'm able to test it with the younger group to see how it will work for the older group. So I am running a few tests here and there with my own experiments, and I'm really, really excited about a lot of them.
Thanks, Jordan. Medical forms. Everybody who attends camp, whether it's for the day or you're coming to stay for an entire session, needs to have a medical form. Your 3-day sessions and your Courage Camp session, that's your medical form part A and B, no doctor signature is required, as well as your supplemental medical form. If you're staying for that whole extra day, so the equivalent of 72 hours, then we do need that part C doctor's physical. So if it turns out that you're going to be there for the 72 hours or longer and they need not be consecutive, we will need that C section plus your supplemental. As I said before, attach your adults medical form, your clearances or your non-PA disclosure, and your youth protection. Put them all together, staple them together, have them in a nice big binder. I know some of you all do that, which is lovely. So just kind of keep all that stuff together, and then we've got it all in one place. Before we talk about food service, I realized that I missed putting it in here. Swim checks. I mentioned swim checks before. If you would like to submit your swim check ahead of time, this is the one form that you can submit ahead of coming to camp. There is a space for it in the registration for you to upload a copy of your completed BSA swim test form. What we're working on, last year was a pilot year. We've got a better handle on it going into this season. We'll be printing those out. We will have them at aquatics ahead of time, so that way it can save some time at the beach. So on that first day, if you don't need to go down for swim checks, then that means that you have time to sort of do some of the other activities that are open. I will tell you that we're not going to be swimming on Thursday afternoon, just so that we can make sure if we need to do swim checks that we have the lifeguards are all working towards that, getting those individuals who still need their swim checks done. We can't do that if we also have swimmers in the water. So I'm just going to manage that expectation for you right now. So that's one of those program areas that's not going to be open for just open program. But if you do need your swim test done, we can do it at that time. If you do it ahead of time, please submit it to us. That way we can get it printed out. Our aquatics director this year, her name is Annette. So she is very excited to get to work with us at Indy this summer. So I'll have all of those for her, so we can get your buddy tags and everything done so that we can get you through and on to your next activity. Jolene asks, does it have to be with our council or can we do it with French Creek Aquatics Director? You can absolutely do it in French Creek. I can tell you personally, my own troop, we do ours at the local YMCA. So there's directions that are on the BSA swim check form. So as long as you have someone who is conducting that test who is qualified, that's not a problem at all. Okay, Tony, are you still with us? Could you tell us maybe a little bit about what we can look forward to with food service this summer?
Sure. Good evening, folks. Yeah, so we're keeping with our same food service provider as we had last year, Aramark. However, we're going with the new management structure with them. So we got some fresh blood in there, and we're working on the menus, cleaning those up a little bit. Also working on the dietary needs, trying to come up with a more uniform method that we provide the dietary needs for folks. We ran into some hiccups last year with some of our processes, and we're trying to avoid that. So Amanda and Dylan were given menus this week to overview and to take a look at, and we're reaching out to food service to come up with some good menus for the summer. So everything's looking good there. Nothing too crazy, nothing too new. Just working with those guys and putting on a good service for you folks this summer.
Thanks, Tony. Does anybody have any Q&A for Tony? I can tell you that we are still going to retain cafeteria style. Our best time last summer serving 300 people was in 14 minutes, and I was pretty impressed with that. So we're going to continue to have that set up in our dining hall. There will be more information about special dietary and the food service as a whole in the guidebook as we continue to make those decisions and get more information from the food service company going forward. So just kind of keep an eye out on the guidebook, and please always feel free to ask questions. So believe it or not, I'm actually almost finished. So what do we have going on right now? Right now, you can go in and start to confirm your attendee numbers and start adding names. So what does that mean? It means that you're going to go back to that registration that you created. For some of you, that may have been way back in July of last year. And if you don't remember how to get back into your registration, go to that website, the council website, the page there. There's a whole group of tutorials that you get to listen to my illustrious voice guide you through how you look up your registration number, how you confirm your participants, how you add participants. So please take a few minutes of your time to read through that. If you still have issues, then please make sure that you reach out to me. But the first thing that I will instruct you to do is to watch the tutorial. So please go in and start confirming your numbers. By March 1, please make sure that you get your campership applications. If you can scan that QR code or follow the link that's below it, that's on the screen, to fill out your campership application. To take advantage of the lowest possible price that you can pay, make sure that you are paid by April 1. You do not have to pay all as a unit all at once if you don't want to. You can pay for certain individuals. Just know that whoever is not paid by that cutoff does move into the next pricing tier. So April 1st, that's our deadline. June 1 is when is the regular rate. So if you pay after June 1st, then you're going to be paying the most that you could possibly pay. So I always really encourage everybody to get in there and pay by April 1. And last is June 8th, we have a Beaver Day at Heritage Reservation. It's a day that we come into camp and we work on getting camp set up so that, you know, we can move forward with all the programs and everything. At Freedom and Liberty, they'll be working on putting their campsites up, but because our tent situation is different than theirs, we have other things. So if you are a pack and you'd like to bring your pack up for the day, to help us, there are things. Jordan and I have lots of things. Chris, the senior camp commissioner, there are things that we can absolutely use help with, and that's anybody from 5 years old to 55 years old. So James asked, how long are the reservations we made last year good? Cutoff date when we need to confirm your registration. So any reservation that you made last year, like you're locked. You're locked for that. So there's no expire date on it. I would tell you that you should confirm your registration as soon as you are able. And mostly because I was able to clear it, but we've already had a wait list start. Which is unheard of here at Independence, but we've actually had a wait list. So by confirming your numbers, it actually helps us get a better idea of how many we can have in the session. It gives Jordan a better idea of what kind of program supplies that we need to purchase, and things like that. So my personal preference is to confirm your registration as soon as you possibly can do it. Definitely get it done before April 1st, to take advantage of the low rate. And anyone who we see that is still in estimated status, come about the middle of March, we start reaching out to you individually. So you're good to stay there as long as you need it. So we're not gonna cancel you out or anything like that. But I would say confirm your registration as soon as you can. I know I mentioned it before. We are always looking for great camp staff members, whether that's you as a teacher who's looking for something to do over the summer, or if you have an older youth in your house or a college student in your household. We are always looking for motivated and enthusiastic people, and not just me. We're also still hiring over at Freedom and Liberty for Dylan. So if you have anyone in your house who would consider working on camp staff, we are absolutely looking for people, especially junior staff. Is that right, Dylan? Is that, yeah. So we're still looking for
junior staff. Go ahead, man. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. So we're looking for junior staff, and I think we have a really good handful of CITs that we're going to be putting through the program this summer. As I said, we have internships. We do work study. There's money available through FIA, I think. So anybody who's a Pennsylvania student, the student work study, there's paperwork that we can fill out for that to help get you some extra money. So we are interviewing both Dylan and myself. I can tell you, and I know that it's, some like knock on wood and cross our fingers and things do change. But as of Friday, we have every one of our slots for staff at Independence filled. So we were guaranteed to have more than 14 staff members running camp this summer. And four or five of them are our lifeguards. So we can have the full waterfront experience open this summer. So James asks, if we confirm early and someone drops out, how do we remove them from our registration? That's a really great question, and I'm glad that you asked it. There is a form up on that same page of the website that's your go-to space, and it's the update summer camp change form. What you'll do is you'll fill that out, and it'll say that you need to remove attendees, and then you tell us, we need to remove 5 spots or spot 1, 2, 3, 4, or what have you, and then we can go in and remove those for you. You can always add participants so long as there is space in the session, but you can't take them out. No worries. And so usually the follow-up to that is, how long do we have before we have to drop them? You have until 2 weeks prior to your session to drop attendees. If you remove them after that, then we have already put forward numbers for food service and stuff like that. So just if you're going to remove anybody or drop them, please drop them as far in advance as you can. So that's the end of my slide presentation. So I'm gonna stop share. There you go. So I'm gonna take this and kind of open this up. If there's something that I missed or a question that you'd like asked, feel free to drop that in the question and answer. As I said before, we are recording this, and it will be available later this week, early next week, along with the slide presentation. The guidebook will be up and online starting tomorrow, since I finished it at 5 o'clock today and was not going to force our poor marketing department to put that up before this meeting started. But if you have absolutely any questions at all, please feel free to reach out to me directly. I will tell you that email is the best way to catch me. Oh, okay, perfect. I love questions. So Jeff asks, will Sunday be AOL specific activities? Yes, that is the plan. We're actually our enterprise risk management committee, I think, is meeting this week. We put in for a brand new program for our Webelos. So I'm not going to mention it right this second in case they come back and say no, but I don't think they're going to. It's in the Cub Scout shooting sports manual. But we're going to be releasing a brand new program for just our Webelos that's going to be going on. So we are going to be adding and doing just those Arrow of Light and Weebelo specific things for them on that day. James asked if we need a Baloo trained adult leader. I don't think so, but it's a great idea to have one. I believe you need Baloo training when you're taking your pack or your den camping. So we're the ones that are providing the program and the facility for you. So if you don't have anybody in your group or your pack that is Baloo trained, please consider sending them to training. There's a big training going on in April at Heritage Reservation, and they are offering Baloo training at that point. So it's at the end of April. But if you don't have somebody, that should not preclude you from coming. Hank asks for late check-in. Should the parent or scout have their paperwork in hand, or should it go down with the camp leader? Honestly, either one is great for us. If you are going to send it ahead with your leader, please just let us know that when you check, like, oh, this person is coming later, their stuff is here. And that way we can get you right in the program hall, get you your stuff, and get you back and get you out into program. If you would be more comfortable bringing it with you, that's okay too. We can take it. Anybody who's arriving after the dedicated check-in time will check in at the program hall with our business manager, Sherry Shake. So the question is, siblings of all ages can attend. If they're too young for program, is there a separate cost for them? Or are these situations also eligible for sibling discount? I'm not sure about the sibling discount. I want to say yes, but I'm going to have to go back and look and see what we did last year. The question about programming, that would be one I would want you to call or email and talk to me directly, so that we can work that out. Now, I can tell you with the 8-month-old that attended last year, we got their name down, so we knew that there was a little person in camp, but there was no charge because they were not eating or participating or anything. They were really just there with their family. So we're really flexible about that. Now, if you have a sibling that's Cub Scout age and will be participating, there is a separate registration for siblings. But if it's a sibling that's too young to participate in program, please reach out to me directly so that we can talk about what that's going to look like for you. Oh, Matt, thanks. Thanks for doing this. You are very welcome. This is I'm just so excited. I am really excited to get to come to camp this summer and get to do weird science with everybody, and I can't wait. Well, if I have, is there a cost if a parent or sibling come by for just a few hours? If you are going to stay and have a meal with us, then we do have a meal, so if you're going to come and have lunch, we would have you just pay the small fee for lunch and stay with us. But if they're not really participating in program, you're just coming up to visit and all those other stuff, then no, I don't see why we would charge you for that. That's another one, James. If you have that, please reach out to us directly so that I can get more information from you so we can kind of tailor that to your experience. Well, I would like to thank everybody for your time this evening. I really wanted to, keep this to an hour or less. Thank you so much to Jordan for joining, for Dylan, for being on here and helping me with this presentation. Thank you all so much for bringing your scouts to Camp Independence. We are doing wonderful things, making lots of changes that we absolutely cannot wait to share with you this coming summer. So in the meantime, if you have any additional questions, please feel free to reach out to me. You can reach me at amanda.erickson, and that's ERICKSON, at scouting.org, or you can call the council office to talk to me, or Sherry Shank, one of the two of us, and we can answer any questions it is that you have. So I hope you all have a great night. Thank you so much. And I will be talking to you soon.